Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Creative Living. We're so glad you joined us this morning. It's exciting. It's spring. I don't know how you celebrate spring, whether you run out and watch and look at poppies growing, or whether you plant a tree for yourself or for your art or for your neighborhood. I don't know how you do it, but for me, I go out. I look at all of the beautiful flowers that are growing. I talk to my neighbors. I see people, and I giggle and laugh a lot. Doesn't spring make you want to boing, 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 and giggle and laugh and carry on? I know it does me. It's just such a great time. Now, speaking of a great time, our wonderful Reverend Joan Stutes is going to be talking about spring and daffodils and wonderful things like that. And I know you're going to so enjoy her talk, so I'm glad you're here today. Now, upcoming for us next week, our Dr. Ayleen is going to be speaking. And as you know, our Reverend Dr. Ayleen always has a wonderful talk and is very exciting to listen to. And she's talking about keeping balance. Have you felt off balance during this pandemic? I know a lot of you have. So next week is going to be exciting to listen to also. Now, as you have probably heard already, I'm going to start doing classes. And I'm going to start doing them on the 13th of May. And I'm going to do my Thursday night classes again like we've done before. And I'm going to be starting out with getting in touch with spirit guides. And as you all know, I have a spirit guide that talks to me, and he has been since I was 5. And his name is Ma, M-A-H, and that's short for Mahalalel. So Ma's going to be there. And I hope you bring your spirit guide. And we're going to be talking about how to get in touch with spirit guides and what to do if you haven't gotten in touch with yours yet. So that's going to be at 7 o'clock from 7 until 9 at CCL inside the building. So bring your mask. All right. And now the other thing that is coming up that is really exciting is the AIDS retreat. Now, the AIDS retreat is going to be on the 23rd of April. And it is one of these things that has, there again, been scheduled to be at CCL. It's going to be Zoom, and you need to get a ticket. So for the ticket to the AIDS retreat, which is for people who have been suffering with HIV AIDS, it's their caregivers. It could be a friend. It could be somebody who just wants to know, what is this disease and how are people living with it? And come and join the retreat. You need to get a ticket. And to get a ticket, you call Brianna. And so, and Brianna's number, here we go, is 408-278-2513. Did you get that? 408-278-2513. And Brianna will make sure you get a ticket and are registered to come to the AIDS retreat. It sounds like, oh, that's sad. It isn't. It's the most joyful way to get in touch with people, particularly if you're going through a time where you feel all alone. Go on Zoom, see smiling faces, and there's going to be an art project also. Now, Michelle is going to be leading the art project, and she's a very good artist, and she's going to help you get in touch with that creative side of you. Isn't that exciting? Now, do you get the CCL Insights? We send it out every Thursday, maybe Friday if we're sleeping in a bit. But it's amazing what happens every week, new things. For me, I have an article that I'm talking about personal milestones. What are the personal milestones that you honor? Corry Whitaker is one of these people who is a hypnotherapist, and she talks about how you can get in touch with your energies. So the CCL Insights, it's free. Just go online and say, I want to get the CCL Insights. Speaking of getting online, you can also join us in the chat room. Yeah, and tell us what's going on with you. How are you doing? What's happening? And speaking of Corky Whitaker, she's sitting right by my side. Now, Corky, what is the email address that people call to you, or write you rather, to get in touch with getting CCL insights?
408 5779.
And do you have an email address for them? Good. Okay, safecorky@aol.com. And she will put you on our CCL insights list so you can find out what's going on. So here we are. It's spring. And April 18th is this wonderful time because we've got talks about Big Ships and Daffodils by Joan. We have people that are going to be leading the prayer and giving a message, and that person is Reverend Dr. Ayleen. She's been helping us out so much. She is the president of our parent church, the Universal Church of the Master, and she'll probably talk about that too this morning. Yeah, and then we're going to be seeing a meditation with Reverend Janet Childs and some accompanying videos. And so much to watch today. And I hope you have a beautiful spring day. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you in person. The first time I can do that is going to be May 13th for a class on Thursday night. It's from 7 until 9. And from then on, we're going to open up the church as soon as people feel comfortable coming in. Okay? So you stay tuned. Thanks again for joining us.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Ayleen Augustine, and I'm the president of the Universal Church of the Master, and I'm very honored to be here to share the prayer this morning. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I hope that as we transform through spring, and it seems that, we're already half through April, and soon we'll be looking at those longer days and warm nights. And hopefully we will be enjoying transformation in our lives, that the world will begin to open up again slowly, but it's important that it's done safely. And personally, I very much look forward to gathering again over at CCL. And I also know the importance of making sure that everything is safe. And believe me, at the soonest opportunity that we'll be able to, I'm sure Dottie will be opening those doors. And we want to make sure that it will be a safe and good experience for everyone. So be a little patient, a little bit longer. Sometimes, when I was young, my mother taught me that God answers prayers in 3 ways. And one of the ways is not yet. Because even though God knows that what we want it right now, that there is a meaning in waiting and showing patience, and there's wisdom to be gained. So if we're just a little bit patient and we're willing to trust, and that trust is a big piece, I know, and sometimes it's hard. And as long as we can understand that the one we're trusting in loves us more than we could ever comprehend that word to be, then we can be able to walk gently and with peace, and knowing that ultimately we will find that time of togetherness again. So, everyone take a nice deep breath in and let it out. And as you do, let anything weighing on your body, your mind, or your spirit to fall into that little imaginary basket next to you, because that's your care basket. Because in this place and at this time and in this space, you don't need to hold on to those things. Dear, blessed, and wonderful Creator, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for our lives. We thank you for the gift of each and every moment and each and every breath. We thank you for the blessing of, and ask your blessing upon this community, all those who it touches, all those who it helps, all those who it guides. Creator, we ask special blessing on those who are working so hard, all of our first responders, all of our essential personnel, all the people who are out trying to help others manage through these difficult times. Creator, we ask your blessing upon all those who are going through very hard times right now, whether it be a loss or whether it just be fear. Creator, may they feel your love surround them. May they hear the birds singing. May they feel the sun shining on their face. May they hear the gentle rain, knowing that it brings the blossoms that make the world fragrant and beautiful. Creator, thank you for being able to teach us the value of patience, the value of waiting, the value of trusting in you, because we do trust in you, Creator. We trust that no matter what place we go, that no matter how dark it may seem, that truly your will never take us where your love will not sustain us and protect us. Creator, thank you for all that you give and all that you are. We thank you for the abundance in our lives, the abundance of love, the abundance of community, the abundance of support. And those that need that support, Creator, we ask that you guide them to those who can provide that. As the earth renews and as another wheel turns, we see that spring does come and it follows the winter, and each season has its place and its gifts. Thank you for the gifts of spring, the gifts of transformation, the gifts of inspiration, the gifts of creativity, the gifts of the dreams that take flight. And we thank you for giving those dreams wings. Creator, thank you for the love that you give and the love that you teach. And most of all, Creator, we hope you have a wonderful day. For all your creation to the next 7 generations and beyond, Aho Metak Oyasin, Ago, 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 by earth, sea, and sky. Namaste, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, blessed be, and Amen.
Good morning. It's so good to be with you here in our virtual Sunday service. I want to talk a little bit about my background because we're celebrating Earth Day this week on April 20th and 21st. I chose to have the background be the California Poppy Preserve, which Earl and I visited several years ago, and were totally amazed at the hills covered with poppies. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But first I want to tell you, I promised you that this COVID thing would end. And now we have a date in sight, I believe, where we'll be back in our normal meeting place and be in person and be able to greet each other and sing together and have a good time, maybe share a meal together like we have in the past. But thank you today for being here with this as our virtual Sunday service, which we've done during this COVID period. So today I want to talk to you about 3 things. First of all is Earth Day. Then the second thing is good things happening. And then the third thing is my daffodil project. Okay, you ready? First of all, Earth Day was first celebrated in 1970. And the website earthday.org lists a series of questionnaires that you can evaluate your knowledge about the environment and about what's going on with the environmental process. So that was kind of interesting. The other thing they have is a list of 51 ways that you can help conserve planet Earth and nurture planet Earth and take care of planet Earth. Little small ideas to take care of each day. So how does Earth Day get into our spiritual talk? Well, we regard planet Earth as our home planet, as our mother, as our home and Earth, and we want to take care of it that way. We have a duty and an obligation to honor our Mother Earth. And you know, as a child, I grew up in the environmental organization and movement, as my grandmother was an early Sierra Club member. And I went on Sierra Club outings as a child. At the end of each outing, whether it was a picnic or a camping trip, we scoured the grounds to make sure that no debris was left, that only the earth was left clean and bare. So I have been aware of the environmental issues for a long time, and I'm happy to see them come to the forefront. EarthDay.org lists 75,000 organizations that help educate people and recruit people toward helping planet Earth. So a lot's going on with the environment and the changes in the environment as we move forward into this new time. Yes, the climate is changing. You know, this year we had so little rain. We did some prayers for rain and we got a little bit, but not a lot. And next year we'll have to be more diligent and earlier, I think, because the climate is changing. And we need to learn to live within the current environment. So Earth Day celebration, April 20 and 21. And think of something special that you can do on that day. Go for a picnic, plant a tree, or plant some flowers. I planted tomatoes this year. I haven't done that for a long time, but I planted tomatoes so that we can have tomatoes grown in our own backyard. These are small things that we can do. All right, Earth Day. Congratulations to Earth Day. Good things happening. You know, I read the news to find good things that are happening. And I made a commitment in 2016 when our political discussions became so discordant and so upsetting. I made it a practice to post good things happening almost every day in Facebook. I got the title of, oh yeah, she's the good things happening lady. So I'm famous for this good things happening thing. I have a friend who reads the news for the real news. Taxes are going up, the sea is rising, all kinds of bad things are happening, and maybe they are. But there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is take care of my own little place and look for good things happening. Now, do you remember that ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal, that huge container ship? It was so big that the little tractor, the huge earth mover tractor, trying to free it by moving some earth around looked like a toy. Now, how is that a good thing happening? Well, it's a good thing happening because it caused a discussion about the future of shipping. It seems that they pick up materials from one place, deliver them to another place to make the product, then take the product to another place to sell it. Now they're talking about the fact that there is so much damage being done to the sea because of the container ships losing containers and so much oil, gas, fumes, carbon dioxide, all of that. They're talking about the necessity to maybe take the ingredients and to the place to make the product, and make the product there and sell it there. Or maybe do it all in one place, but not have all these container ships roaming around the sea, cluttering up the sea with their dropped containers. Also, you remember that there was a young boy in Greece, while swimming in Greece, who discovered all kinds of debris in the ocean and decided to create a huge machine to clean up the ocean. That machine is operating. Yeah, it took like 5 years or more, but it is operating. It is beginning the huge cleanup of the sea. Is it enough? No, but it's a start. Is the discussion on container ships reevaluating their importance? Is that going to happen soon? Probably not, but it's a start. If you read carefully for good things happening, you'll notice that things are moving gradually toward a more environmentally safe world. Just as a side note, the investments in ESG, mutual funds and stocks, have outperformed others, it seems. What is ESG? Companies that are run by abiding by environmentally sustainable and governance laws. And that means that they are taking into account the environment and labor laws. So there's a lot going on that is good things happening. I read about a city that's being created, and they're creating solar panels to provide electricity for the entire city in Florida. A 600-acre ranch is being transformed into homes powered by solar panels and some gas fuel, which is needed at night. So there's all kinds of good things happening, but you have to look for them. I believe in limitless opportunities ahead. I believe that moving ahead, keeping an eye open for limitless opportunities opens the door for many good things happening for you personally and for planet Earth. You know, when I was a child, my grandfather talked about growing up on board ship, a tall ship, and he sang sea chanties and recited the points of the compass for me. So I grew up knowing about sailing. They sailed around the world. I still have a basket that came from their trip in China, probably the early 1900s. They were in China visiting when the women had bound feet. What a tragedy. But I grew up hearing these stories and grew up wanting to sail. But I grew up in Redlands, which is halfway between Los Angeles and Palm Springs, and kind of a desert town. And the opportunity for me to sail was very limited. However, when I was getting married for the second time, I went out and danced with 6 guys one night. I ended up marrying Earl, who was a sailor. And my lifelong childhood dream of sailing became true, because after the age of 50, I learned to sail. And Earl said I got pretty good at it. Yeah. And I got to enjoy it. It was hard. It was scary. At times, I was terrified. But I did have my little girl dream of sailing come true by meeting Earl and by being on sailing trips with him, just the two of us in the Caribbean. It was a wonderful, special time. Now, another lifelong childhood little girl dream that I had was a railroad village. My brother got a electric train, and I got a dollhouse. And I wanted the model choo-choo train, but of course that was a boy's toy. And I had a dollhouse, which I landscaped with grass and trees and flowers and all kinds of things. But we couldn't do much of a model train village at that time. But now I've met Rich, and he is intrigued with model train villages, and we're building one. And another one of my little girl dreams is coming true. Because I believe in limitless opportunities, and I keep my mind open to what's happening and the good things that are happening all around me. So I have little girl dreams coming true, and I have big girl dreams coming true. My kitchen just got remodeled. It's almost finished, just a couple more things to do. And it's beautiful. Oh, and I'm in love with it. Yes, limitless opportunities, limitless possibilities, limitless good coming to you from all directions if you keep your mind open to it. You know, our church, Center for Creative Living, believes in the manifestation power of each one of us to be open to these ideas and to bring good into the world. And this will lead me to talking about my daffodil project. Well, last fall I went to Home Depot and they were having a sale on daffodil bulbs. So I bought 3 big bags of daffodil bulbs, and I got home. I said, what am I going to do with all these daffodils? I can't plant them all in my yard. So what I did is I made up little bags with 3 or 4 daffodil bulbs in each bag, and a little bit of bone meal, this special meal and fertilizer that you use for bulbs, and some directions on how to plant daffodils. And then I went out and knocked on my neighbors' doors and asked them if they would plant daffodils. And most of them said yes. They were rather startled at my request and looked at me like it was a kind of a strange thing, but they thought maybe that was an okay idea. Some of the daffodil packages I just left on the front porch. Interestingly enough, they got planted too. One of my neighbors said, oh, Joan, my front yard is all dirt. Just look at it. Why would I plant daffodil bulbs? I said, look, do me a favor. Just plant them in the dirt. It's really easy. The rain will water them. You won't have to worry about them. And it will make our street beautiful because we want to be Daffodil Lane next spring. So his wife went out and planted the daffodils, and she put a stone circle around her daffodil bulbs so she could remember where she planted them. And yes, they came up and bloomed, and they were adorable in that little stone circle. My neighbor from the far east, I talked to him about planting daffodils, and he said, Joan, I've never planted anything in my life. And I said, okay, this is how you do it. And he said, well, all right. And he has 2 little boys that are just adorable. And so I didn't see any daffodils on his corner lot there. But the other day I was out walking and I said, by the way, did you plant your daffodils? He said, oh yeah, they're up there by the porch. Well, they were planted in more or less in the shade, or maybe he planted them late, but they're just now coming up and they're going to bloom too. It's been such a joy to walk through the neighborhood and see these daffodils. And my neighbors got all excited. Joan, they're blooming. They're so beautiful. It gave us something new to talk about. All right, so that was the daffodil project. I told one of my friends about it, and she said, oh, Joan, I would never go out and knock on my neighbors' doors and ask them to plant daffodils. And maybe a lot of you wouldn't either, but I can tell you that it was a great project for our street and caused a nice neighborhood spirit to come out in the spring, along with the bright flowers. And we had a lot of fun doing it. Next year, oh yeah, a lot of the neighbors are saying, you know, next year I'm going to plant a lot more daffodils because they were so beautiful and it was so much fun. So my street, Elrose Avenue, is going to become Daffodil Lane over the years. It was a good start this year. I had endless opportunities. Let me talk to you about the poppy preserve that's behind me. When I was a little kid in Redlands, as I mentioned earlier, I don't remember much about poppies being so widespread. What I've discovered is that in that time frame, when I was a kid, the people down there took bags of seed, and after the rain, would go out and drive around and throw the seeds out by the road, so that they sowed the seeds, and then the flowers came up in the spring. Now, when Earl and I went down there, it was a year of heavy rain, and the poppies were just everywhere, hills and all over. It was just unbelievably gorgeous. This year, there was not so much rain, so the bloom was not as generous. There are websites that tell you about the bloom, and if you want to go down there and what you can expect to see. It's a 6-hour drive from San Jose, but it's worth it. Now, our own Reverend Doti Boon talked about when she was a kid and a young person in Lancaster, that they had the tradition in her family of taking the poppy seeds and wildflower seeds and tossing them out the car window after the rain. So she was a part of making the poppy preserve and that whole area into a wildflower haven that it is today. You see, the way to make the world a better place does not have to be a huge worldwide project. It can be a very small project. It can be one street or one bag of poppies, of California poppy seeds thrown out the window. You see, small projects can enlighten and make the world a better place, just like big projects can. And if you keep your mind open for limitless opportunities, then you find those ways to do that. I don't know why I saw those half-price daffodils, and I don't know why I bought 3 bags of them. And I don't even know why I decided to give them all away to the neighbors. But that all came as an idea in my mind as something that would be fun and interesting to do. And it turned out to be a nice project for the neighborhood. Okay, today I really enjoyed talking to you. And just to review quickly, I had Earth Day, April 20 and 21. Think of something that you can do to enjoy Earth on that day. Go to a park, plant a tree, find some flowers, plant some seeds, whatever it is that you can do this year to honor Earth, planet Earth, our mother planet. Good things happening. Kind of tune out the bad stuff. There's all kinds of bad stuff all the time. The world has many problems. I admit that. And yes, those come and sit on our doorstep. Sometimes they impact our lives, our own personal lives. But if you can look for the good things that are happening, you'll be amazed at how much good is happening, of how people are inventing new ways to do marvelous things and take better care of our planet and be more environmentally conscious and more spiritually conscious. So good things happening. And then my daffodil project, it was so much fun. I'll probably do it again this year. What kind of a little project can you do to brighten your day, your group of friends, your neighborhood? Maybe you want to toss some poppy seeds around in your own neighborhood and see what happens. I invite you to challenge life with limitless opportunities, of being aware of those opportunities and of being joyful as they appear for you to pursue. It's been so much fun talking to you today. I've totally enjoyed it. I'm wishing you a good week ahead as we celebrate Earth Day and our very dear planet Earth, Mother.
Dawning into a new day, finding roots in the wisdom way, holding truth to the midnight sun. Carry me down, carry me down. Oh, carry me down to the river. I'm riding down the river. I'm reaching to the shore. I'm riding down the river, not a care anymore. And when all hope has disappeared, and when all faith has cracked and dried, when all strength has turned to fear, we will abide, we will abide, we will abide, we will abide. Oh, awakening the soulful voice, knowing we always have a choice. Bring it forth so we can rejoice, rejoice in the light, in the love light, in the light, in the light, in the love light, love light. Dawning into a new day, finding roots in the wisdom way, holding truth to this midnight song. Carry me down, oh carry me down to the river. Carry me down to the shore. I am riding down the river, I am reaching to the shore. Not a care, I am riding down the river. Not a care anymore. And when all hope has disappeared, when all faith has cracked and died, when all strength has turned to fear, we will abide. We will abide. We will abide. We will abide in the light, in the love light, in the love light, in the light.
Thank you for joining us for this celebration of faith and fellowship. We'll be back next Sunday, and for those of you, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments section. If you appreciate this video and the work that the Center for Creative Living is doing, please press like on the video. You can share the video, and also please subscribe, because that will help this community and the church grow. Remember, in these difficult and challenging times, the opportunity to give and support an organization that has done so much for the community is tremendously important. Please help the Center for Creative Living continue in the wonderful work that it does. We will make it through this. We will be stronger for it. Our faith will carry us. Be blessed, be safe, and have a wonderful week.